I'm alive. Okay, here we are. Wow. We made it. Another day, another dollar. Give me something to drink so I can holla. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo, transformational astrology, and more than just astrology, folks. Conscious awareness. Up in your mojo. Okay, come say hello to me. I'm here half an hour earlier because I have an appointment today, actually 2. So I just wanted to get this in. And remember, folks, follow the path to whatever. Okay, I'm just going to say in the chat room, because lately I can't see people unless I'm actually typing something. So come say hello to me. There we go. So what's your birthday? What sign are you? Today we're going to be finishing up the series of Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio for each of the signs. And it kind of turned up to be a series of 3 where I could get 4 signs each in a show. So today we're going to be talking about Gemini, and that'll be the 6th house, Sagittarius, the 12th house, and Taurus, the 7th house, with, ta-da-da, drumroll, ending up with Scorpio, with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, for Scorpio, and that'll deal with the 1st house. Okay, so if you're listening to this in a replay and you give me your birthday and such, I may not see it, so please forgive. But you can also catch these videos on YouTube, and I'll post that link later on. So just remember, folks, that the planets, they don't make you do anything, okay? Diddly squats us, because we live in a, what do I like to do? Cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. And when you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So basically, astrology tells you what time it is. So what time is it? Well, for some people, it's time for wealth, health, passion, and purpose. For other people, we don't know until we take a look. It looks like I have a bump on my head. Hey, Sasha, we have a Scorpio rising. Well, then this is going to be very apropos, as they say in French, and I don't know any French. To you. So listen up. Okay, so let me see. We'll start with Gemini straight away. And let me just scoot over. Okay, there we go. Stay on the path. You missed me. Thank you. I appreciate that. In high school, I used to have a gym teacher. And he would say, hey, Marolakos, yeah, I missed you the other day. And I was like, you did? He's like, yeah, I threw a rock at you and I missed you. Yeah, that's what, the man of corny jokes. Okay, so what are we looking at today? Well, we've got Gemini. Let's kick it off with Gemini. Gemini, I'm going to pull up the chart for my notes. Gemini with Scorpio retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, the 6th house is where we're focused. So with the 6th house focus for you, I want to see you really pay attention to your health. I know you're focused on work and, retraining yourself or getting situated in a company or in a project, and it can be a freelance kind of thing. But your health right now is of paramount importance. And so what I would say is for Gemini sun, rising, moon, also Mars in Gemini, especially Mars in Gemini, that this is a really good time to look both ways twice when crossing the street. Because if your mind is wandering, and because Mercury is your celestial muse and your guide, and if your mind is wandering, and you're thinking about, oh, I got to go do that thing, and, and the stop sign's there and you don't see it. Yikes. I'm not saying this is going to happen to every Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, or Mars in Gemini. But what I'm saying is that the attention needs to be placed on the here and now when you are operating heavy machinery, okay? First and foremost, and no speeding on the road. So if you take a bus to work, if you do a carpool and somebody drives you, fine. Just remember to look around your seat so that you take your stuff with you. You know, your phone, your keys, your briefcase, your wallet, you know, all that stuff. Okay, that out of the way, Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, and Mars in Gemini especially. We are also focused on, for you, Mars is in the sign of Libra right now, and it's a positive angle to you. So you're on a learning curve, Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon. There's things to do. There's paperwork to catch up on. There's projects to be part of. And so it's a very busy time, and you feel excited about it. So when it comes to work, I would say, it's almost like creating, what's the word? It's sexy. It just feels sexy. It's like, you know, if you're creating something in advertising or in marketing, it's like you just want that phrase that catches people's attention. You just want to, you know, put a cover on that report that just, you know, wow, that's eye-catching. You know, it's like that time of really garnering attention from higher ups, from employees, employers, coworkers. Hi, Courtney. So this is a great time. Now, even though Jupiter is opposite you, with this particular retrograde, keep your eye on the road, eye on the goal. You're going to be distracted by 1,000,000 details. And for you, that's like things shattering. It's like ice, you know, snowflakes. You instead of looking at the storm, you're looking at the individual pattern on the flake and not seeing that you're about to get caught in a storm. So what I want you to do is really pay attention, okay? Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars, and Gemini, and then we're going to talk about Sagittarius next. But I want you to really pay attention to what are you doing and why? What's the goal? And even if you have to write it down on a piece of paper or keep a memo in your phone and constantly look at it during the day, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And do you need to be doing it now? All right, these are the questions that you're going to need to answer for yourself, okay? Okay, so what else for Gemini? Actually, I'm going to pull a happy card. Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars, and Gemini. With this Scorpio Mercury in retrograde, angels, universe, starseed, all my friends and family, my squad. I'm calling on my squad for Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon. What's also apropos during this Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio? And okay, I pulled this the other day for the other sets of signs. Vision. So again, it's keeping your eye on the areas that are predominantly important, you know, that you need to be focused on. But then you're going to get pulled aside. You're going to get called away. You're going to get distracted. And if it deals with your health, then, you know, also seek many opinions, not just, you know, the one that comes at you the hardest. With this Scorpio energy, it's going to feel like you're wrecked on the inside, like, oh, I've just given it all my all, and they want me to do it over. Well, if it's a project you're working on, if it's health you're looking at, Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars, and Gemini, then I want you to be really aware of the desire. Remember, I talked the other day about the difference between putting your desire out there in the world. There's, you know, it can go on the spectrum to passion or obsession. Let's stick to the passionate side of things. What are you really passionate about? And what's the sticking point? What's the thing that seems to come up? If your vision is like, that's what I want to do. That's where I'm going. But all the other doors are opening in that direction, and your attention goes in that direction, maybe there's something that you do need to glean and understand about yourself, your health, your well-being. Do you work, and then not even remember that you have to eat or go to the bathroom? Or, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to get home. The babysitter's got to go, you know, So I want you to just start paying attention to things a little bit more, okay? Does that make sense? And I'm going to pull a rune for you guys. Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon. And then we're going to talk about Sagittarii. Okay, a rune. I'm just starting to get back into my runes. It's been so fun. This is for Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon. How appropriate that. Okay. Then I grabbed one right away. Where's my book? I still have to refer to my book because it's been a while since I've seen these guys. I mean, look at how old this bag is. Like, it's, yeah. That's how long I've had these things. Hey, I suddenly turned gray. I'm disappearing. Ah, Harry Potter, help me. Okay, so, Suelu. Where's my Harry Potter wand? Okay, what is that? Look at me. I'm disappearing into the background. Help me. Okay. I'm going to read this as soon as I can find the page. Oh, wholeness. What is it that helps you to feel whole? Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars in Gemini. What you are striving to become in actuality is what you are by nature. It's what you already are. So what you think you don't have, you need to turn around and reassess. Reassess those amazing talents and resources that you are, that you have, that you know of, and put them to use. And it says, in times of burden or stress, you want to use your life force, yes, but not at the sake of yourself, not to a detriment. So if you're tired, okay, you need to take a rest. If you feel guilty about taking time off, you need to talk to somebody about that and at least get some rest at lunch hour or when you come home and not pile on the extra things. And this is weird for me, okay? Yeah. I don't know what just happened. Sometimes oh, there we go. Magical fingers. If people are demanding a lot of you right now, Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars in Gemini, I want you to be really cognizant of boundaries and the ability to say no. It's okay to say no, okay? So I hope that's helped you. Now, Sagittarius, we're looking at the 12th house. Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And Mars in Sagittarius. This is a time to retreat. This is a time to really take a break. This is a time to step back during this Mercury in retrograde, which occurs October 31st, technically, through November 20th, but we're already in the pre-phase, and then we're going to move into the post-phase for 2 weeks plus after, depending on your sign and rising sign and moon sign. So with Sagittarius, you're about to be reborn. Some part of you, some faction of you, your team, your disconnected parts are looking for connection. So it's a good time to meditate now during this retrograde, to retreat a little bit more, to give yourself time to regroup after the main event, work, a project, being with, even though you have Jupiter in your sign, Jupiter in Sagittarius through December 4th. This is like the all out, push to the end to get it done. I just want to keep going. Okay. At what cost? Okay. So just like Gemini, if you have a combination of Gemini and Sagittarius in your chart, then it's really important that you work a little bit, you rest some, produce, reduce. Remember, retrogrades and the planet's not doing it to you, right? This is a phase that you're undergoing right now, Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, Moon, and Mars in Sag. This is a phase that you're undergoing right now, which is timely to your process. And sometimes not doing is doing, okay? That's important to understand. That not doing also helps you to integrate moments. I'm about to do, I'm always testing out new things, especially for vibrational healing. And I've come across something that's new in town here in Sedona, and it's called the harmonic egg. It was developed by Gail Lynn in Colorado. And from what I read on it, there were white papers done on it. Some scientific studies were done on the relaxation that occurs through the color healing vibration, the sound healing vibration, and people with anything from PTSDs to anxiety to candida infections to chronic illnesses have been seeing massive results. So I want you to imagine cocooning yourself, Sag, Sun, Rising, Moon, and Mars in Sag, cocooning yourself, a little bit every day so that you can utilize the energy of inspiration to regroup, so that you can find yourself again, so that you can come back to, oh, right, that's what I love. That's my desire. I've been moving toward obsession to get the job done, to see that thing, and if the obsession is about a person, then it's trying to get them to do something, trying to manipulate or control or force. You cannot. The Scorpio energy can be very elusive, alluring, sexual, sensual, and powerful in the deconstruction of something, so that you can turn around and say, I have to break down my office so I can rebuild and do feng shui. I have to break down the thoughts around my relationship with a person, with a situation, with my own body, my health, my mind, my spirit connection. I have to deconstruct it so that I can reconstruct it. Because in a retrograde, any retrograde, it is all the re's that come up. Renew, renegotiate, release, reestablish, or relieve of. So you want to look at that Sag, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars, and Sag. What are the behaviors that you have that are not serving you? And that you go until what point? And that, especially when it deals with health, well-being, and mental health. So are you overeating? Are you overindulging? Because Jupiter is your astrological muse, and with Jupiter and Sag, it can be all great opportunities have come your way in the past 11 months, and you're looking at a job change, you're looking at a new way to be in a relationship, you're looking at a new opportunity to really engage your passion and your desire, but we need to come up to speed right now in this next couple of weeks. So it's okay to go into a retreat, to meditate more, to ponder your behavior. Now let's pull a card for you. Hope that's helped you. Come say hello to me. We are talking about, it's like speed dating because I'm going so fast. I have an appointment later and I want to make sure I don't miss it. We're going to be talking about Taurus next. But we're talking about the Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio for Gemini, which we just finished, and Sagittarius, which we're just finishing up now. Then we're going to get to Taurus, and then ta-da, Scorpionica. Okay, come say hello to me. When's your birthday? Now, this is a card, a little bit more advice from the universe from my squad, my angels, my astrological architects, my starseed family. For Sag, Sun, Rising, Moon, and Mars. What other messages do we have for those glorious people? Okay, interesting. Now, this is in line with what I am speaking of. Synchronicity. Okay, who's a police fan? Okay. Yeah, synchronicity, right? So I want you to look at the image in this. You see the central focus of the spiral, the swirl, and then there's several that are coming out of it. So all things that work together in synchronous timing emanate from your ability to create, your ability to manifest. So when things are synchronous and you go, oh my gosh, I always wanted a baseball mitt and my cousin John just gave me his old one, you call it a coincident. Well, a coincident, spiritually, metaphysically speaking, is when you have a need and the universe provides. Now, if you're so busy in your head wrapped up in an obsessive thing, where it's not healthy for your body, mind, or spirit to be able to speak to you, for you to glean information or inspiration, then you are out of sync. And when you're out of sync, you're out of alignment. And the things that get your attention then will be the symbolic things of coincidence. Oh my gosh, I needed a break, and what do you know? My doctor said, yeah, you got to take the day off. Here's a written note and you'll get the day off with pay. Or you're thinking, oh, I'm going to stay late and finish that project and work on that thing because it's due. And then the boss comes in and says, you know what? Everybody's been working so hard. We got to let some people just take the day off because, we got problems with electricity and that we overloaded the, and it's like, oh, wow, what a coincidence. I needed a break and I got one. Yeah, but you don't need to wait until the universe shoves you into a corner to get a break. with you not paying attention, falling down the stairs or hurting your ankle, and you're like, oh no, now I have to stay at home. You don't need to go to that distance because that's where the negative energy takes you. But when synchronous events come, when you stop, you meditate, and you understand that your body-mind connection opens a door, a portal for your spirit to then come through. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, hello, give me a wave. Does that make sense? Sag, sun, rising, moon, and I'm pulling a rune for you guys right now. And that is, okay, this is awesome. This is so apropos. Okay, that is partnership. That is like one of the best runes. This is one of my favorite runes because there's no reverse to partnership. Okay, and partnership is first and foremost with the divine. And I'm not talking about a religion, unless you want me to be talking about a religion, then that's what it means to you. I'm talking about pure conscious love. Pure conscious love. When you are aligned with body, mind, spirit, then what happens? Oh my gosh, you download information, you get what you need, right? Not just what you want or what you think you need. You get what you need. And if you need time off, Sag, sun, rising, and moon, just to catch a break, just to heal some part of your body or your mind so that your spirit can then grow and then guide the way, then this is the time. And I want you to be really mindful right now of that during this retrograde. Sag, sun, rising, moon, Mars, and Sag. Please take the time to when does inspiration come? It's when you give yourself a chance to just be quiet. And, oopsie. And when you give yourself a chance to just be quiet, you can start to understand, get it. Oh my gosh, I had a great dream, or, oh, I got an answer to that problem, so it'll come to you. All right. So now let's move on to the amazing Taurus for us. Okay. The Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio falls in your opposite house, the 7th house. And when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets. And love will steer the stars. This is the age of Aquarius. Okay, no, I won't sing. I won't sing, although I usually like to. Taurus, sun, rising, moon, Mars in Taurus. Aren't you stubborn? Sometimes. But sometimes you're so protective and kind and sweet. And I know, because I am a Taurus. My husband's a Taurus rising. My child's a Taurus. And I know the Taurus energy, the Tauri energy of like loyalty. To what end? Especially with a partnership. So here's the thing. With this Scorpio Mercury retrograde, October 31st through November 20th, but we're in the pre-phase, it's already happening, and then the post-phase. Oh my, this can be quite a sexy time. This can be so romantic, especially if you have any combination of Cancer and Taurus. Oh my goodness, pull down the curtains. Nobody wants to see what's going on inside. But then it can be also a very manipulative time. So remember that gauge we're talking about, your desire. Is it obsessive or is it passionate? And the passionate desire, Taurus, sun, rising, moon, Mars, and Taurus, is to really equate equality in a relationship. Equality. Okay? So it's not about you doing it all, you directing it all, or you being told what to do and you just following the rules. It's about standing up and being counted, but not in a bully way, not in an arrogant way. It's, you don't want to do that thing your husband, wife, spouse, lover says, then don't do it. It's okay, but you don't always have to acquiesce because your first rule is to be loyal. Taurus, sun, rising, moon, and Mars in Taurus. And then it's to affix to the thing. What is the thing in the relationship? You will defend your partner no matter what. But if your partner is doing something, and this could be a business partner, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. If your business partner is suddenly doing something that embarrasses the hell out of you, oh my gosh, you're going to stand up and go, yeah, no. I'm done. You can't do that anymore. And it's not the first time you've done it. But when people come out, with a declaration, you have to remember sometimes people aren't reading your mind. They don't always know that you felt this way before. So now you can share what's going on in a very, I usually say that when you make a declaration during a Mercury in retrograde, people are like, you hear like brakes screeching in the street. What just happened? What was that? People don't know. So you have to, come out and start to communicate in a way that's a little bit less abrupt. Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars, and Taurus, and a little bit more thoughtful. As in, I noticed that during the meeting you brought up this situation. I've heard you bring this up before, and I don't know why I've never really addressed it, but can we talk about it? Yeah, I just get a feeling that it's kind of inappropriate to do that or to say that. So like that, okay? And this way you don't, then DEFCON, things aren't locked into place like, get off my land. And then the controversy doesn't explode. We don't want things like that to happen, Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon. But with the Mercury in retrograde and Scorpio in your house of partnerships, I think it's important that you get in touch with your own needs first, not your needs about them, but your needs for you. You might be thinking, yeah, we're going to work together, or we're going to go on vacation together, and here's the plan. I already mapped it out. Here's the Google thing. Here's the, and it's like, okay, I don't know if I want to do that, says your partner. Right? Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars, and Taurus. You have to get clear on your needs. And it doesn't mean that just because your partner doesn't want to collaborate with you or do something with you, and this can be a business partner, this can be a lover, this can be a client. You might have a high-end client and you have like this whole strategy for them. And they go, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. And you're floored and you're upset and you're thinking, is it me? Did I do something wrong? No, Taurus, you're so sweet. You're so tough on the outside and gooey and squishy on the inside. You have to understand that right now during this retrograde, you have to see who you are in the relationship, okay? Who you are in the relationship and what your needs are, but not for them, not for the team, go. It's first you. And that's okay. But then again, don't assume that they are reading your mind. Hi, Christine. Yes, time change. I put it on Facebook last night and this morning, and I sent it out in my newsletter just for today because I have an appointment. Back to the original time. I'll be back on Saturday at 10 Pacific and 10 Arizona. So, okay. Does that make sense, Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon? Yeah, get to know what your needs are in this particular retrograde without demanding that they listen, that they hear you, that they see you, that they go along with what it's like, because you can get hurt. I'm going to pull a card for you now, and then we're going to move on to Scorpio. Okay. More insight for the very loyal Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars, and Taurus. And I'll pull a card and a rune, yes, after I take a sip. Stay on the path. That's all I got to say. Look, I have a bump on my head. I'm a cone head. I am not from France. Okay. For Taurus, it's not wanting to come. Okay, Tauri. Oh, yes. Taurus, baby. Service. Taurus, again. Who are you in service for? Your clients, your business partner, your lover, your spouse. What's the service about? First, in serving your needs, do other needs get met? And sometimes you equate that with being selfish. So service at the sake of the self becomes denial. That's for everyone to hear, not just Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon. But service to self, when it's true and authentic, Not from a, yeah, I'm going to get it first in line. I'm doing this no matter what. No, that's not it. It's about being in alignment with your needs in order to serve others. And, oh, hello, here's the rune. I haven't pulled this one in a long time either. It's all about growth, Taurus. Hang on, let me just get the page. It's the Berkana, and it came out sideways. So I'm going to read upside down as well. It's a time of fertility, yes, blossoming and ripening, so saith the book. But you have to remove resistance. That's so appropriate for Taurus because Taurus is first to resist, along with Capricorn. So what aspects of your behavior are stopping the growth with a partner? That's what you want to ask yourself. And it's time to look at, again, it even says, are you placing your wants and needs before others? Are you placing your wants and needs, are you placing their wants and needs before yours? So you have to look at the combination and the desire to be in a partnership, business partnership, clientele, or is it obsessive that you have to control this thing, that you only feel needed when you are in charge? Or can it be a passionate thing where you come together and you're both secure in who you are so that you can go your own road and still stay together? Think about that, Taurus. All right, now we're moving on to the amazing Scorpio. Drum roll. Now, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mars in Scorpio. This is all about you, baby. This is all about you. I'm just going to check in because I only have about 9 minutes left. Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. This particular Mercury in retrograde is really going to be profound for your ability to recognize, that's a re-word, R-E, to recognize your resistance, another re-word, R-E, your resistance to being who you truly are. And when you become defiant, stubborn, insistent, all those feelings that keep you grounded in no. When, now sometimes that's a necessary thing, but when others are wanting to bring you out of the cave, out of that private place, when others are wanting to involve you in something that's more appropriate to your growth. So this might mean a partner comes by and says, I think it's time for couples counseling. And you're like, no, why? There's nothing wrong. Okay. I think it's time for couples counseling. Or a client comes by and says, I want to rework our arrangement. And you're like, why? It's working great. Oh, okay. But, okay. Or some part of your body is starting to rebel, a re-word, because you've been overdoing it. You've been ill. You've been healthy, and then suddenly your body just doesn't want to do that type of exercise, or your body just feels icky. It feels, and especially around the region of the hips, the pelvis, the reproductive system, the digestive system, the prostate, the ovaries, and infection. So if you start to, and like, you could get thrush and you go, how did I get thrush? Oh my gosh, that's gross. Like, what did I eat? Or I have a urinary infection. How did that happen? Or my prostate's not working. So suddenly your body is going to be speaking to you, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon, Mars in Scorpio, and you're going to need to listen, because this goes to the depths of literally the huge transformation, because Scorpio energy is all about death and rebirth. And I don't mean physical death. Well, if you've been very, very ill, this is a time where you could have a relapse. But I'm not saying that's going to happen. This is a general reading, so I'd have to read a person individually to actually see that. But Scorpio sun, rising, or moon, this is a time when you need to go in, even though this is a time, I'm trying to change that. I'm disappearing. It's a Halloween thing, said Lindsay the last time. This is also a time for you to really regenerate. If you've been ill, this is a time for you to just focus on, and I pulled a card for you already, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, gratitude. Gratitude, 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 gratitude about all the things that you have, you have been, and the possibilities yet to come. Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. Let's think about that. So if you have, maybe you're kind of down about something, maybe you retired and you're like, now what do I do? You know, or you've been thinking about starting up something and nobody wants to come play with you. It's like, hey, let's go on a trip. Yeah, it's not a good time. Oh, you know, or you call an old friend. Now, remember, things from the past will come back. So if you're recuperating and an old business partner comes by and says, hey, we got this one-time project, we need it now. And you're thinking, oh man, I would love to do that. I would love to. You cannot ignore your body. So you have to know what your priorities are, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. And this is going to be one of those times where it is imperative that you meditate daily. Daily. If not, actually get into counseling or do some kind of therapeutic, energetic, vibrational healing work. Reiki, polarity, Qigong, Tai Chi classes. Really just move your body in a sense that brings you back to some kind of center where your expression is more authentic. All right, more authentic. Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. I'm just going to pull a tile for you guys. Christine says, I was gifted runes from a great aunt. How sweet, but didn't come with a book to tell me what they meant. Oh, okay, so this is very old. It even has dust on it. Pardon me. This is the Book of Runes by Ralph Blum. I found it to be one of the more authentic and one of the more inspiring definitions of runes. But I also studied the Futhark because my next historical fiction fantasy book is going to be placed. It's about the Viking Queen. And so I'm studying what runes mean and the positioning of the runes as they were divination devices based on people and elements. So, but you can get a good start with the Book of Runes by Ralph Blum, and then you can actually read the Futhark and what each of the direction of the lines in runes means. Okay, so rune for Scorpio. Scorpio, sun, rising, moon, Mars in Scorpio. This particular, oh my gosh, it's not doing it again, but that's weird. Okay, oh, it worked. So let's pull a tile for you, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. And then I'll be back on Saturday, folks. And quickly, while I'm here, I'll just do this. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel and share the love and comment and subscribe. And you'll get a little bell and it'll say, ding dong. There it is. So you get notified every time I upload some fresh content. Okay. All right, so this is for Scorpio. Okay, so, oh, and Brittany says Mars and Gemini, Sun and Sag. Oh, so this whole show today was for you. Scorpio rising, hard to pick a path for me at the moment. Well, there's no time to pick except to go in and meditate. That's the only thing for this retrograde. And now for you, specifically, Brittany, and for all Scorpio and Sag. All right. This is for the lovely depth charge Scorpio. Okay. What do we got? Oh my gosh, it's doing it again. Disappearing. Protection. And the protection sign, we've seen it as the peace sign, right? In our days, because some of the runes have carried over into today's society. So protection is, and this is upside down, by the way, this is reversed. Okay, so let me just cover what it says in the book, until I read from it. It's been about 15 years since I've played with runes. Sedge, or rushes and protection. To look at the burdens that you're carrying right now and to really pay attention to your health, Scorpio sun, rising moon, and Mars in Scorpio. And look at all the people that you want to be involved with. Are they using you? Are you using them? Is there an exchange of energy that is healthy for you? That's something that is very important to notify yourself of as well. There's something sticking on my screen here. It froze. Oh, darn. Okay, well, my screen froze, so I hope you're still getting this. Okay, temperance as well. Don't be concerned about your direction. That's what it's inferring, whether you win or lose right now, but we are looking at who you are and who you choose to be by way of your energy, by what you're focused on. And I want you to focus in, Scorpio sun, rising, and moon. I want you to focus in right now on everything that you feel is appropriate for you, and all the things that you can do for yourself in a quiet way without making any final decisions. All right? Remember, folks, the retrograde is meant for renegotiation. The past will come back and say, are you done? Are you done with me yet? And it could be a thing. It could be an object. It could be a person. It could be a project, a business opportunity. So Scorpio sun, rising, moon, Mars in Scorpio, this is the time in this retrograde, plus add a few more weeks to the post-retrograde after November 20th, for you to take time to understand who you are, to take care of your body, your mind, your health. And so if you are a combination of Scorpio, Sag, and Gemini, it's really important that you take care of your body right now and not try to make that final decision. Final answer? Final answer? No. Nope. This is a time for you to really just focus on being present in the now, in as many moments as possible, without attaching a definition to something. Like, oh, I really needed a friend to call, and my friend called. That's the answer I've been waiting for. Maybe, maybe not. We know that old story. This is for everyone, and I'm going to wrap it up. What's the old fable story? It's Chinese. Good neighbor, good neighbor. There is a man tending to his flock, and a good neighbor comes by, and he says, neighbor, good neighbor, how are you? And he says, oh, wonderful thing, a horse came by, and my son was able to tame him, and now we have an extra horse. And that's such a good thing. And the neighbor says, well, who's to say what's good or bad? And he goes away for a week, and he comes back a week later, and, oh, why so sad, neighbor? Oh, my son was riding that new horse, and he fell and broke his leg. That's so bad. And the neighbor says, well, who's to say what's good or bad? Then he goes away, and he comes back a week later, and why so happy, neighbor? Well, the Chinese army came by looking for conscripts, but they did not take my son because his leg was broken. And the neighbor was like, what a good thing. It's like, well, who's to say what's good or bad? So we don't want to attach to things as much as we want to see who we are in those things. Who are we really? What are we resonating? What vibe are we giving off? What are we telling ourselves? Is it a truth? Is it a partial truth? Is it a lie? Are we feeling lost and we just attaching to something just so that we can say that we belong somewhere, that we have an identity? I think during this retrograde, it's going to be a wonderful time for you, especially Scorpio, Sun, Rising, Moon, and Gemini, and Sag, to get clear on who you are in the moment. And who you are, I could tell you that right now. You're pure conscious love. And what's your job? To be as compassionate with self and others as possible. And for the rest, enjoy the ride. Folks, I will be back on Saturday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so grateful. Grateful for you. Thank you. I'll be back feeling blessed. Hope you are too. Saturday at 10 Pacific, Arizona. See you then.